Lost Artistry Lash channel. Today, I'm going to share some of my pro tips on how to get the best possible lash placement every single time we lash. Before we dive into the good juicy stuff, go ahead, click that like, subscribe, ring the bell so that you're always notified when we launch brand new educational videos. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1, always look from the side during application. When placing lash extensions, when we place from the top, the extension will almost always look like the base is properly applied, like it's perfectly flush with the natural lash. But come in from a side view and see how that looks. So check it out. Although the lash looks amazing from the top view, when you check it out from the side, you can see that it's lifted ever so slightly. So that's why it is important to always look from the side so we can go ahead and correct that placement. And instead, make sure that the extension looks a little something like this. You can see that the extension is completely flush at that base. And this is how you're going to get amazing retention. When the base is flush to the natural lash, just like this, then there's no room for brushing the extensions off accidentally when the client's brushing their lashes, or no areas for the extension to hitch. Number 2, angle your wrist and hand slightly different when you're working with each individual curl. For this example, I'm going to use D curl and C curl to show the difference in how I hold my hands and tilt my wrists in order to get that perfect adhesion at the base. So I'm going to hold my hands just like this for C curl. See? And then in order to get that base of the D curl flush with the natural lash, my hand's going to be angled more like this. So you can see I'm angling much more towards myself for the D curl and away from myself with the C curl. Very different. So when we're working with different curls, it's important for us to always remember that and always play around with angles, especially important to look from the side when you are placing and playing around with different curls. Number 3, make sure we're using the perfect glue for our individual lashing speed. If we're using a glue that is too fast in curing, then it may actually cure before we even place it on the natural lash. That's gonna make our lashing experience very stressful. On the flip side, if we're using a glue that cures a little bit too slow, then we're going to be wasting time during our service, or we may place the extension and let go, and because that hasn't finished curing completely, then we could lose that perfect bond that we would have gotten had we used the appropriate glue for our lashing speed. Number 4, have a clear visual of both the beginning and the end of the client's natural lash. This way, we know there's no little invisible type hairs falling into our sections and messing with our application. And on top of that, we're able to really place the extension intentionally, meaning the perfect distance between the skin and where the extension has been placed. If we can't see where the lash grows from, it is going to be so hard to get that perfect application. This may take moving your chair up and down, and again, looking from side to side. Number 5, proper lighting is key. Here at Lost Artistry, we use our own line of our LED lights. These are amazing for lashing because they have bright white lights. I find when taking lash photos, if the light has a yellowy hue or not enough bulbs or settings, then it's really hard to A, take after photos, and B, see exactly what you're doing. And if you want to take it a step further, you can get one for one side and one for the other in order to achieve optimal lighting. Number 6, my final tip, always rest your hand for stability. So if we have nothing to rest our hand on, when we try to place that extension, it's going to be so hard. So we can't be afraid to hug our client's face in a gentle manner and rest all parts of our hand. That gives us so much more stability when applying our extensions. Stability and control is key. Thanks so much for watching.